Yeah, and I'm going to make you host. I'll just leave you. Okay.
Are
We
you
are
going to
streaming now. Okay. No, we
be
are fine.
able to upload the presentations? I can't do that.
Go ahead, ma. We're set to go.
Will you be able to upload the presentations, the slides? Yes? Hello? Will you be able to upload the slides? Hello?
Auntie Emisi, good evening, ma.
Good evening, Mr. Albert. I hope you'll be able to upload the slides.
I'm not in a position to do so. I'm just basically trying to make sure that everything is okay, that you're host. I am I have my mother-in-law's funeral that
Oh, wow.
we're
So
going through now. So but I see that Jumoke has made you host.
I don't know how to upload material.
Ah, okay. Let's see who's on that can help with that. Just Iman, are you there?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Do you know how to share your screen for presentation slides?
Yes, sir.
All right. I am going to make you host, and I'll send Auntie Yemisi's document to you so that
Okay,
you can project it as she wishes.
okay, sir.
Okay. Just give me a minute. Let me make you host, and then we continue. Where is Charlie? There.
There are
Okay,
three
sir.
documents, the slides and two other documents.
Yeah, the two other documents are shared on the platform. Do you want her to project those as well?
Um, at some point, yes.
Okay, you just tell Imam what
Which
to do and she'll run it. So, Iman, you're host now.
Okay, sir.
Um, I'm going to send you the presentation slide on by DM right now.
Okay, sir.
And for good measure, I'll also post it on our platform so that
Okay.
everyone can pick it up from there. Yeah, just give me a second. I'll go on mute. Okay, Iman, have you got them? You're muted, Iman. Imam, please confirm you have the slides.
Yes, sir, I do have it. Thank you.
Okay,
Excellent.
I'm trying
so
to.
project, right?
Yes, sir. Maybe it's under SD card.
Any challenges?
Yes, sir, I can't find it from my. I'm get it.
You can't find it on Zoom?
No, I can find it on Zoom from my device.
So what can't you find?
The document, I downloaded it, but when I'm trying to lift it from Zoom, I can't find it. Trying to locate it.
What you need to do is to have the document open on your phone or your device or wherever it is.
Okay, sir.
When you click on share, it will immediately appear.
Okay, let me do that, sir.
So open the document, have it on, have it open, and then you click on share and you select it.
So while you're doing that, let me just say hello to everybody. I'm really glad to be here. I don't know how many of you young Turks are really geared up for this session on civic awareness, activism, and advocacy. But one of the things you need to ask yourself is, why do I want to be an activist or an advocate for changes that will improve the quality of life of fellow Nigerians and the world? Do you have a hero complex? Is it about your ego and self-aggrandizement? Do you think you are better than others? If you go into the activism mode with those kinds of mindsets, you have challenges. Or is it really about genuine love and care for humanity and the common good? Being your brother's, sister's keeper? Do you have the required confidence, dignity, gravitas, and self-esteem to face personalities and authority figures who have the responsibility for providing the solutions to the challenges you want to solve? Do you have the required discipline, long-term commitment, compassion, courage, ethics and values, culture, and lifestyles that you are fighting to see reflected in the society? Because you have to change yourself and your personal environment first if you want to change society. Because it's a way of life, not something you do in an ad hoc manner, only when it's convenient. Are you a proud Nigerian, showing your patriotism in practical ways by wearing, eating, sitting, sleeping, decorating, recreating, by patronizing made in Nigeria goods and services? Are you ready to invest in your local economy by contributing, buying from those mom and pop shops around you? Are you committed to developing your nation and not thinking of jackpying if you could? Because life is a problem-solving exercise. Challenges will come from cradle to grave. The tools you will learn in the course of this program and in advocacy and activism will help you to overcome many of these challenges, both in your personal and public life. When you have clarity and conviction about why you want to be a champion for good, people-centered causes and good governance, then you'll be able to contribute effectively and maximally to the economic and social development of your community, your local government, your state, Nigeria, and the African continent. So girls and guys, you're already great because you're alive, accomplished some milestones in your life, and you've signed up for this program. It's a privilege to be able to serve others. You can be the change agent, the vanguard of the new Nigeria we want. ALG and I believe in you. So I want all of you to unmute. Can you do that? Is it possible for everyone to unmute? Can you make everybody unmute? Yes? Is everybody unmuted just for briefly? Is everybody unmuted? Is everybody unmuted?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So say it loud. I want you all to say it loud. I am strong.
I am
I am
strong.
strong.
I am great.
I am
Great.
I am brave.
I'm creative.
I am
Great.
creative.
I am great.
I'm
I am great.
I'm intelligent.
I am
am
a winner.
intelligent.
I
am
am a
winner.
winner.
I can do it.
I
I
can
can
I
do
can
it.
do it.
do it.
I will be the example I want to see in my nation.
I will
I
be
I
I
an
will
will
example.
be
be
the
the
example
example
I want
in my
to
nation.
I want to see in my nation.
Now, I want you to say to each other, you are my brother, sister.
You are my brother.
Brother and
You are my brother.
You are
You are
my
my sister.
I
sister and
will,
sister.
I will love,
I
I
will
will
love,
love,
support,
support,
and protect,
Support
and what?
and protect you.
And
and
protect.
protect
you.
you.
Together,
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 we can succeed and win.
we
we
can
can
We
succeed
can
and
succeed
win.
and win.
win. Succeed and win.
Together,
together.
Together,
we will do it.
We
We
will do
we
it.
will do it.
Doesn't that make you feel good already?
Absolutely.
We are very good.
Ready to
feel
jump
Yes,
in,
ma'am.
ready to jump into the battle.
you.
Yes, you are already activists. I can hear it in your voice.
Yes.
So if Iman, I think, is that her name, can share the slides, the Solag.
It looks like Imam had some problem sharing, right?
I can try again, sir.
Well, let me, Mentor Bolanle, are you on?
Yes, I am.
Would you mind projecting Auntie Yemisi's slides?
Okay. The three pages, right?
Yeah.
Yes, the
Yeah.
3 pages I sent
Okay.
to you.
Just give me a minute. Just give me a
I will
minute.
make you host so you can do that.
Okay, co-host, please. So we don't
Oh,
have the
co-host.
of the last time.
Auntie Yemisi,
Yes.
All right.
you need to make Bolanle co-host, or actually you need to make a host for her to share the slides, and then she will make you co-host.
How do
Do
I
you know how
do
to
that
do that, ma?
at all?
Hey, wahala
You
deal.
make
Okay.
Bolanle host, Abby?
Yes, you just go to her name.
Bolanle Olafunke. Is that it? Olafunmiloye.
That's right, ma. Go to her name and then touch on her name. You'll see a number of options there. There should be one that says make host.
Okay, I'm making her. Yes, I've made her the host.
Okay, good. All right, nice. And then you are now also co-hosts.
Okay. What does the code?
Mentor only as host, you can make as many people co-hosts as you wish, just to make sure everybody's covered.
Okay. So you
Thank
can.
you.
Excellent. So you can mute others for now. I'll tell you when to unmute again. So the
No
first.
problem.
Okay, can you see it? I think I've shared it. Can you see that?
Yes, yes. So that is, we're talking about advocacy, activism, and participatory politics today. And so go to the next slide. Right. I hope everybody can see it. I'm talking about the forms of activism now and how to organize advocacy campaigns. You know, the description of activism is a policy or action of using vigorous campaigning to bring about political or social change. You have to become an activist if you want to be somebody who wants to engage with your energy and with your commitment and with your passion. And you have to be aware of the issues that you want to be active about, you know, and ready and committed to fixing the problem. So it has to be a long-term thing. You're somebody who says, I will make sure I get this thing fixed. And if it takes 1 week, if it takes 1 month, if it takes 1 year, I'm going to stay the course. So that's activism. Now, advocacy, I'll read the UNICEF definition. Advocacy is an evidence-based process, you know, with the emphasis on evidence. You know, you cannot say people are falling ill from contaminated water in your community. You have to have the numbers, you have to do the research and get the evidence so that people, because if it's just one person that's ill, people will say, oh, well, maybe that person was not careful. But if 100 people or 1,000 people in a population, you know, have this issue, then people will take notice. So it's evidence-based that directly or indirectly is utilized to influence decision makers, stakeholders, and the relevant audience to support and implement an action or actions that contribute to the fulfillment of the desired change. So advocacy is citizen-centered, not individual focused. If it's just you that has the problem, then the advocacy will not work. Well, it could if that problem is so, you know, ginormous that it has to be worked on. But advocacy is usually a collective action. And it's to affect the political process and supporting and enabling people, groups of people to change policy, practices, ideas, and values that perpetuate inequality, intolerance, and exclusion, or whatever else is the focus of that issue. and it strengthens citizens' capacity as decision makers and builds more accountable and equitable institutions of power, which means that the people themselves have to arm themselves with the knowledge, the evidence, the solutions often, so that when you're engaging with the authority figures, you're coming with answers. You're not just going there to say, you people are doing rubbish, you're not doing this, or you're saying, this is a problem. This has many people affected. These are the things we think you can do. Maybe you didn't think of them, but we've thought about it, and we're laying on the table these solutions. And mostly it's about grassroots voices. These are things that have to be built from community level. Individual advocacy is different. With individual advocacy, if you have a problem, maybe it's just your street or something has affected your house or your school, you can write letters. For instance, during the military intervention, when the military were just had taken over the country and we wanted to get rid of them to get our democracy back, I wrote to the Queen of England that I will relinquish my father's MBE, the honor they gave him. They gave him a medal and honor when he was alive. That I will come and relinquish it at the British Parliament. And they sent the whole delegation from the government of the United Kingdom, and sanctions were brought to be part of the tools that were used to get rid of the military. So writing letters to those who can take action, these are individual advocacy. You can send messages using the media, social media, go to television and talk about whatever the issue is. And you have to direct it. You have to find out who should have fixed this. Is it the local government? Is it the health officer? Is it the Minister of Transport, the commissioner of this, or is it somebody in the House of Rep? Whoever is in charge, you will be able to identify that and appeal to them through social media in respectful manners, because when you are engaging with people and you are not, you are just abusive and you are not using language that tends to allow people to listen to what your challenges are and want to support it, then it turns them off, and you may not get any reaction. So writing using social media, using public institutions, and allowing the general public also to know that these are issues. And you can identify experts and influencers to champion the cause. If there's a cause and you get Davido to speak, or Burma Boy, or is it Femi Kuti, or Sheon, or any of these people will pay attention more than if it was just you. And of course, direct engagement as an advocate can happen if the government has also set up structures for you to engage. For instance, in Lagos, they have the Lagos State Citizens Gate app, a web application where you can go online and you just Google it, citizensgate.lagosstate.gov.ng, and you'll be able to lodge complaints to the government regarding whatever issue that you want them to pay some attention to. So Lagos State has it. You have to research whether other state governments also have such tools for engagement. And later on, Bolale will share the EIE passport, which should also be forwarded to you. Now that is the enough organization that has developed this passport, where it has all the names of the public officers, the House of Rep, and area links and numbers that you can engage effectively with those officers. Now, there's another document, which is the advocacy tool. So if we can share that document. And that is the Organized Group Advocacy Toolkit. It was developed by the Commonwealth Foundation. I'll just run through it. It will be sent to you.
Sorry, Ma, do you want me to share it now?
You can share it now. Yes.
Okay.
So as I'm talking, Balanle will share it. So with the toolkit, it gives you the full gamut of the steps you need to take if you want to organize an advocacy campaign. You have to identify and choose your issue carefully. It can't be woolly, not succinct, not precise. It has to be precise. You have to really narrow it down to what is the problem. It's not that in my area there's flooding. What's causing the flooding? Is it drainage, or is it, you have to be, as much as possible, find out what the real issue is and what is are the things you need to do. So next slide. Yes, as you're going down, so this is a toolkit. There's a whole barrage of things that you need to do. You need to identify, choose your issue, identify and choose your target. Okay, let's stop here. Choose your target and stakeholders, because it's very, very difficult to achieve anything alone. That's why I talked so much about together earlier on. So choose your target and your stakeholders. Who is it you are going to address the advocacy to? Is it federal, state, local, a specific ministry, or a specific organization? It could even be private sector, and an organization or a business that has set up something in a residential area, for instance. We had in my community here, we just found that a business has started making cement. This is a residential area. It is not allowed. That is not allowed. There was clouds all over the place, cement, dust. It was polluting the air. So we had to find who would take care of this problem. It was the Commissioner for Environment. So engaging with him, engaging with his staff, having meetings and all that. So you have to identify who you need to target and who are the stakeholders, the people affected, the people who actually live there or are doing business there, or those who maybe, indirectly, maybe they're passing through that area and they can no longer pass there. Find out who are the stakeholders, who are the religious institutions that are in that area, where are the community leaders. If there's a chief or a Onaba or somebody else, you have to identify them and begin to plan your messaging and methods. You need to assess the environment and the risk. So what kind of environment are you actually, going to do this campaigning that you want to do? Is it a hostile environment? So if you're living in Borno State, where they have terrorists all about, it's not wise to just gather yourself and start shouting. You need to be a little bit more organized, a little bit more subtle. Find how can you do it without putting yourself at risk. And then gathering the evidence using a wide range of tools. Information that you have already about the data about who's affected, participatory tools and research methods. All this must come to play. Then after that, you need to please go up to the next slides. You need to develop monitoring. You see, this is the stakeholder bit. You can see that many people are involved, who are going to work with you to own this issue. All those affected have to understand that it's their problem. It's not just you as an individual. Maybe you led it, or maybe you are the one who identified the problem. But all those who are affected have to also join in. So a lot of learning has to go on, a lot of awareness creation, a lot of understanding the short, medium, long-term effects of whatever the challenge is. If it say a road is not tarred and everything is bumpy and all that, people may be able to drive SUVs, maybe can pass over that, but people who have normal cars, it's going to cost them more money if that road is not fixed. It's going to add to their cost of living. People who are, older, they cannot just walk, gently along that way. And then at the end of it, you need to develop monitoring and evaluation plans. So as you've got your plan, but as you're executing, at each stage, you have to monitor whether it's being effective. Are you achieving, something along the way to getting to the point where you want to get? So monitoring and evaluation plans are really critical in this exercise. Now, as my people will say, money is a cocoa of some stories. If you don't have money to maybe have your meetings, it doesn't have to be a lot, but maybe just to have, tea, coffee, or minerals as you're having. People can, your stakeholders can be the ones who will contribute a bit of money for the planning process, or you want to go and meet the commissioner or whoever it is, and you want to all wear t-shirts to identify the group as the group that's coming to engage with the person that's going to solve the problem, the public officer or the GMD or executive or CEO of whatever company it is. You want to wear t-shirts, you want to wear face cap, you want to carry water. You must always have water if you want to go and meet, if you're going to have this kind of meeting, because it's really important to keep yourself hydrated so none of you faint on the way. Make sure people have eaten before, or you buy some snacks for them to eat along the way so people are hydrated and they're not starving. So to be able to execute your plan, you need to get some resources. You have to plan it and make sure that you have enough, and then develop those strategies. How do you want to do it? Is it going to meet them? Is it writing them letters? Is it having a town hall meeting? Or whatever strategies you think will work for that particular issue. So that picture is showing people that are actually meeting to develop their plans and strategy. Know that media is always very important to help you, to lobby. You may identify people within the government who will be lobbying inside, people who you have converted to the cause, who will say, when we get to the office or when we get to parliament, I'll be a voice inside the system to help make sure this happens. So lobbying, educating yourselves as this guy is doing, understanding your audience. If the issues are an issue that's affecting people in a community where it's a business district, people with shirt and tie and all of that, it's a completely different environment, and the strategy will be very different. So you have to understand that audience. If it's market women, or if it's young people, a group of youths who are, passionate about doing something about drug abuse or mental health, the communication is going to be different. The kind of language you use is going to be different. So you have to understand your audience. And so stakeholders must sustain engagement. That's critical to the success an outcome of any operation. This is like an operation really that you're embarking on. So stay in the course. If you go once and you don't get the result and you all go home, then too bad, maybe nothing will happen. So you can see the cycle now of what you have to do. It's more graphic in that um, in those circles that have been drawn for you. I'll just go through this and probably possibly come back to that just to round up. So you must understand that lamentation is not a strategy. Nigerians, I believe that the book of Lamentations was written for us. We lament and lament and lament. This thing is terrible. This somebody is this and that, but we're not ready to to step up and do all those things that I've just spoken about to change, the course of action. So you all have to act now to shape the world you want to live in. And let me go back to this particular slide because it's very illustrative of what needs to be done. Right. So now you see this, it's a cycle that you keep going, keep going round and round to, sorry, I'm not very techy, so you have to forgive me for, all right. Just want to get to that. So you see, identifying the issue I've talked about, choosing your target, the methods of messaging you want to use, assessing the environment and the risks. Gathering evidence is so important. If you do not go into your battle, so to speak, with information and data. So when the officer or the public servant, the commissioner, the whoever it is, the member of the House of Rep and senator, whoever it is that you want to help you solve the problem, you need to have data and you have evidence of exactly what you want done. And then monitoring, as I've said, and that learning plan, how you make sure that you are progressing along your plan, you are fulfilling the milestones along your plan, your resource mobilization, and at the end of it, you will find that you are likely to succeed. So this whole document is going to be yours to really go through, and it describes in great detail, knowing what you want to change. You have to be clear about it. Who do you want to help you change it? And then educating the general public so that people will say, what are these people doing? What's their problem? We don't know. People are these noisemakers. People are these young people. They're just shouting. So helping the general public to understand why you are doing what you're doing and how it impacts them as well. Because if something is happening in a community, you can be sure that if it's not taken care of, it's going to spread to the other community around. So getting the general public on your side is really important, and building your image. Let them know that these are responsible people that are trying to achieve something. They're not just rebel rousers making noise. And part of it is diplomacy and negotiating skills. What you want, and maybe the government doesn't have the funding for everything. Okay, you young people can volunteer and say, okay, if it is this school that has fallen down, it's dilapidated, it's affecting the students, and the government say, okay, we want to do, but we don't have it in the budget. You can now negotiate and say, if you put certain amounts in, we can donate our time to come 3-4 hours in a day and help with the building the blocks or whatever it is. So using diplomatic language, it never works to shout at government. They just shut you out if it's a government issue. Even if it's a private sector business that's polluting the area, if they can just sack everybody. So using the diplomatic language to make sure that you get what you need to do to get what you want. So being professional, knowing that the people you are dealing with, they have the authority, but you are the real authority, because this is the democracy. We're not in a monarchy, and the people are supposed to be in charge. Democracy is supposed to be government of the people, for the people, by the people. So being professional, being, letting them know that they're only there because they've been hired to do the work, but you are the one paying their salaries. So making sure that you are properly addressed yourself, and you have your accurate data, and you're professional in your presentation, then you really get to where you need to get. There are samples for monitoring tools at the end of the page. So by the time you have, and this was sent out earlier, so I'm hoping that you would have taken time to go through it so that you can ask me questions. So finally, I want to say that together, we can build a new Nigeria that is safe and secure, governed by shared ethics, values, and the rule of law. A future where communities thrive, crime is diminished, and the voices of young people resonate with the power of peace. So I want you to go forth and change the world, starting with your community. Thank you very much. So I think I can take questions now. I don't know how much longer we have. So if the host, you can raise your hand if you want to ask questions. The host will be able to unmute you. You raise your hands. Anybody have any questions? Or was I so brilliant that you guys don't need to ask me any questions? So please unmute or raise your hand so that you can be unmuted to ask your questions. Okay, all I'm getting is fantastic delivery. Oh, thank you. But do we have anybody who's got their hands up? Okay, Ahmad has his hands up. I think I can ask you to unmute, okay? I've asked you to unmute, Ahmad. Go ahead with your question.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Thank you for the wonderful lecture, ma'am.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yes, ma'am. I say, how do someone manage the large crowd when going for advocacy?
Large crowd.
Hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am.
So managing a
I
large...
say, how can someone manage the large crowd when going for advocacy? Yes.
Okay. Now that is part of the planning. If you've planned it very well, you will take into consideration, you the planner must be the one to have thought it through. That this thing we want to do, how many people? Where are they coming from? Where are we going to meet? So you have to have that. That is where planning is so important for advocacy, so that it doesn't get out of hand, and you find that you're now flouting some, rules or whatever it is. This is not advocacy. Is not necessarily protest. Protest is the last card that anyone you should use to achieve an objective, because it means that people are not listening to you. You've tried all the other steps. You've written to them. You have asked to meet with them. You've organized your stakeholders. So you would have gone through this advocacy tool that will be sent to you. You would have had your meetings, your stakeholders would have understood what the challenge is. Then the group of people that will go and meet whoever it is you want to have a conversation with, you would have identified them. So you have a close, controlled engagement to start with. It is when you have had that kind of engagement and you're not getting the results that you now call other people and say, okay, maybe a group of us now going to have to go and protest in front of maybe the office of national planning, or is it EFCC, or whatever the agency is that is supposed to have taken care of the problem. So protest is the last card, but with protest too, it's part of organization. People who want to protest should identify those who will lead. If people are coming from, I don't know where you live, if it's a whole local government, you should have points person in each of the wards to identify who's coming, what their names are, their contact details. So if anything happens, you'll be able to say, these are the people that came, and this is what something happened to this person or that person. So it takes a lot of organization if you want to have larger crowds. Okay, so but if you read through this tool that will be given to you, you will be shown the various steps that you need to take before you go on that kind of mass protest. You would have done many things before. You would have written to them. You would have had meetings with them. You would have gone on maybe television to talk about it, or on radio. There are lots of presenters on TV who are looking for stories, whether it's Channel Television, Arise Television, or radio station, people like Jimmy Disu and people like that. I don't know, in your locality, there may be other broadcasters, journalists, who you will bring on board to be champions of that cause, who will believe in that cause, who will also be advocating. So all of that will happen. And most times, the problem will be resolved before you now have to have mass protests and start calling, the whole town out to address the issue. But organizing at the smaller scale level, in terms of the managing of who is affected, who are the people that should go and see who should you see, when should you, and you have to have patience, because if you see them one time and nothing happens, you have to go back. And making enough noise about it is also important in terms of keeping up the media aspect. After you have met and you're not getting the solutions you want, then you now take the next level. You have to have your plan, 1, 2 steps, until you get to the point where you are so frustrated that these people are not interested. The Oba has gone to them, the chief has gone to them, they're not answering. So that's the kind of grades of levels that you must take before you resort to large crowd, because it's very difficult to manage large crowds. So try and solve the problem before it gets to the point where you protest. If you go and protest, you may not even get the results you want. You just drive you out from the street that you are constituting public nuisance. I hope that's answered your question, Ahmad.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, good. Anybody else?
Good evening, ma. Good evening once again. I have a question. I couldn't raise my hand, I guess because I'm the host. But
No problem.
I have a question, ma.
Okay.
Well, looking at social media, and using social media as an advocacy tool, how do we balance getting using the social media effectively for advocacy vis-a-vis this new method of you mentioned the fact that Nigerians lament, and social media has been seen as one of the tools where there's a lot of lamentations going on. I remember there was a challenge a few months ago, 2 months ago, and everybody was asked, or young people were asked to just keep on lamenting and about Nigerian wahala. So could that be regarded as an advocacy process? How do you balance the use of social media to get effective results for advocacy?
Social media is very nice for venting, getting it out of your system, just saying it and blah, blah. It doesn't matter whether something is done about it or not. If the issue is massive enough and affects many people, like this jam thing that happened, people were so dissatisfied, and the social media was awash with condemnation and all of that. Sometimes it can have that effect if it is something that is impactful enough. But if it is a school that has the structure has broken down, or a building collapse, or there's a drug abuse in a community, it will not have the same impact if social media is what is the only tool that you are using. It's always good to use social media, but it should be used responsibly. I think as human beings, we have to develop a habit of engaging respectfully with each other, respecting each other in other points of view. People may not agree with you, but you have to respect them. And you are a better person, a bigger person, if you're able to persuade them to change their mind. So screaming at them or abusing them doesn't change anything, and it doesn't affect anything, and it makes everybody look kind of stupid, So I really think, and now this cybercrime law has come out, so people should be also careful about how they use social media, because you cannot, I mean, without social media, if you meet somebody, you have a problem with somebody, just think how you would address them if you were facing them. What you write on social media should be something you should be able to say to the face of whoever it is you have a problem with. So if you're abusive, you will not abuse the governor or the commissioner or whoever it is, or the president, if you have an opportunity to see them. So it's much better if you couch your language as if you are addressing the person face to face, and you give your reasons why this thing should be done, and you give your solutions as to why you think it should be done differently. And I tell you, people tend to listen to such matured engagement. So with social media, it has a two-edged sword. You have to use it responsibly, but if you want real advocacy to work, you have to also combine it with other methods of going to see them, of bringing other stakeholders in, of meeting with the people, writing to them. Petitions are quite good. If you get 1,000 people to sign on to a letter, and you send it to the minister of this, or the governor, or the local government chairman, with people who have signed, they see the signature. So it's not just you that's affected by the problem. It's thousands of people, and the numbers affect politicians because they want voters. They don't want to alienate voters. So if you can get thousands of signatures on a petition about something that is, you have tried those other methods, you've written quietly to them, you've pointed out the idea, you've made phone calls, you found out that's what the EIE passport is about. The numbers are there. You can get their numbers, whether if it's public officers, House of Rep, National Assembly, Senate, all these people in the public service. You can get their numbers, start sending them messages, and then cultivate the habit of when you have an opportunity to meet them face to face, maybe in church or on the street, or they come to do some ceremony in your school, take that opportunity to kindly get up and say, Mr. So and so, Honorable so and so, we've been trying to write, and always take the copy of the letter with you. We've been trying to write to you about this issue. We haven't heard anything. But I find that often when Nigerians meet public officers, they're asking for personal things. They're telling them they want a job, or the father has just died and they have a funeral. They want them to give them money. That's why the public officers often say that they don't steal any money, because all the money that they get from, whether it is a palliative or constituency project or whatever it is spent on the people continually demanding for one thing. That's not the job of our representatives. They're supposed to go there and make laws, and whatever they're going to do for them is supposed to be in the budget. The money that they're using is taxpayers' money. It's the money that is coming from our collective purse. So spending it on somebody's funeral or somebody's birthday or somebody's has just had a baby or somebody has fallen ill, it shouldn't happen. And that's something your generation has to change, in that you are people who are interested in being independent and self-sufficient. So you have your job, you have whatever your salary is. So by the time you are facing those who are supposed to be delivering on services for you, it is from a position of dignity and independence. You're asking them to do their job. You are doing your own job. Now you want them to do the job that you are paying them to do. So there should be no, come and do this, come and be the chairman at my wedding. Come and be the, Kiniko, I'm doing a program. Come and donate something. No, 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 no. Those habits and practices that we've gotten used to has to change if we want change in our society. I hope that answers your question. Bolanle.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Ma.
Good. Any other questions? Well, it looks like everybody's had a splendid time. I hope you all enjoyed the lecture and the interaction. Thank you so much. Ahmad is clapping for me. I get some kudos and thank you. Fantastic. Oh, thank you very much. The biggest thank you can give me is to go there and be part of the change, of the new Nigeria, where ethics and values and standards and people focusing on the issues that will make the quality of life better. We all watch TV, we go abroad sometimes, you see how people live in civilized environments, where the streets are paved regularly, the water is flowing into people's taps, the drains are clean so that you don't get rubbish all over the place. Things work. Systems work. If you want to get to do something, from either get a license or register for something, they are very courteous public officers there to assist you. And by the time we get to that level, you'll find that everything will be affected. Our economy will grow. People will become more professional in whatever they do. because the standards you want from your public officer is the standard you have to imbibe yourself. You want to be somebody who's trustworthy. You want to be somebody who does whatever they want to do expertly. You don't just do it anyhow and then say, okay. And then you want the people that are supposed to do things from the other side of the public environment to do things differently. It's not possible. It cannot happen. So I wish you all a very, very, very wonderful career ahead. And I'm sure ALG, those of us partnering with them, will continue to be ready to support you, to advise you if you are still having questions about one thing or the other. Thank you for having me.
There's one hand raised.
Okay, is there
don't know
another?
if you could see the person, let the person talk. Mr. Kayode, you've raised your hand for a while. I don't know if you have anything to say. Any question? Can you unmute yourself, please?
All right, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay.
It's a pleasure to be here, ma'am. Thank you very much for the wonderful presentation. I was privileged to be somewhere in Badagry today. It's actually a town hall meeting. And what was discussed at that event centered majorly about the needs of that community in terms of good governance and major dividend of democracy.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the items, some of the tools that were discussed in order to draw the attention of the senator representing that location and even the MHR were highlighted. And part of it was, okay, they need to raise a letter to draw attention. And I noticed a lot of restriction or not the willingness to do that was a bit, it wasn't there. And personally, I was pained. I was just looking at them. And I think you also mentioned it during the delivery that maybe because of this little stipends or little favor here and there, though I didn't notice anyone, I don't have evidence of any. But my reading of the whole thing at the end of the day, in order to take this advocacy forward, I noticed that is a bit a challenge. Ma, please, how do we navigate that moving forward in order to amplify the voice of the community to get good governance? Because indeed, our political people, they don't like to be accountable in courts. They don't like to be asked questions. Thank you very much, ma.
Thank you for that very, very good question, Kayode. And that speaks to the area of stakeholder engagement that I spoke about. The town hall meeting is a step that is closer to the end of the exercise. What should be done before the town hall meeting is to have little meetings, individual meetings, feeling out, educating, understanding. It's possible the people, they may have articulated it, but the audience may not understand as clearly as people think they should. So that groundwork needs to be done first. If they understood clearly that these are the issues, and that solution had already been discussed with them in the marketplace, in the barber shop, in the wherever they congregate, in the mosque, in the church, that conversation must happen before you meet public officers, because you will get a brick wall if you are not organized first together. That letter, in fact, should have been written. That solution should have been found before the town hall meeting, so that something could have been drafted. The community that are going to be the stakeholders that are going to be at that meeting would already have an understanding and possibly have signed the letter. So the town hall meeting is just the conclusion of presenting the letter to the public officer. I hope you are getting what I'm saying. The groundwork.
Yes, ma'am.
The groundwork is the difficult part, because our people are very difficult. Our people are very difficult sometimes, and they are often impatient. They think, it's a magic wand. We should just ask for this and it will happen. So for them to understand the issue well enough, to understand the areas that it impacts on their business, on their lives, on the lives of their children, has to be discussed with them prior to, and then understanding the process. Okay, when we write letter, what's going to happen? That has to be discussed with them first, for them to understand that the letter is just a step. After the letter, this is what will happen, and then when the problems are solved, this is how it will affect your life. So people who are engaged in advocacy often find that the people who are more affected by the problem are the ones who are less, they're used to the problem. They like to lament about it. And, if they give them palliative, then, they will feel, that, okay, at least they have done this one. They have not solved the real problem that they want to get solved, though. And some of the things that we are trying to introduce with organizations like Budget is to give people trackers, tools to track these governance issues without being physically involved. Because again, some of them, maybe because there's their relation who's the chairman or some of the officers there, they don't want to embarrass them in public. So that's why it's good to have got everything tied up before you go and do a physical presentation, so nobody can be identified. It's not. Town hall meetings, all kinds of people come. It may not be the people who are even involved in the process to start with. So tying up those loose ends and making sure that the tools that the people can use can be done without that physical engagement. Because sometimes our people don't like to face people directly. They will complain around the corner. When they see you, they'll be smiling. But the thing is, that. So before you get to a point where you are having a physical town hall meeting, you've got them to sign the letter. Even if it's initials, so that they don't know the names, but they know that 10,000 or 1,000 people have signed this letter. They've put their initials on it, and then it is just presented. So going there to now say, let's write a letter, may not be the most effective way. But the most effective way is something that has to be discussed with the community for them to agree before you meet the officers. Agree whatever method is going to work for them. Let them agree first. Let everybody agree that this is what we're going to do before you go to a town hall meeting. And that communication has to be something, now that we have WhatsApp and we have various ways of communicating, develop WhatsApp groups for them, find areas where they congregate, find their leaders, whether it's the leader in the market or it's a lot of work getting your map of who are the stakeholders and getting your methodology of how you will engage with the issue. And I tell advocates that it's more important for you to allow the people who are affected by the problems to lead, because they are the most affected. So getting a few people among them who will be the vocal ones. So it won't be somebody that is coming from Shomolu that is advocating for people in Badagry. The people in Badagry, find a few of them who are vocal enough, who can stand up and say, yes, this is the problem, this is how we want it solved, and who can convince the people around them too that we need to do this thing. I hope that answers your question.
Very well, ma. Thank you very much, ma, for your insights, ma. Thank you, ma.
It's a lot of it is captured in the document that will be shared with you if it has not already been shared, developed by the Commonwealth Foundation, how to do advocacy in a way that is effective. Okay?
It's all right, ma. Thank you very much, ma.
Thank you. Any other hands up? No, I think we have covered all the grounds. Thank you for clapping. Okay, Bolanle, I think we have reached the end of the lecture, and I hope everybody really found it useful and built a tool and various comments by me that will help you to effectively be an effective activist. And like I said in my earlier introduction, activism is a lifestyle choice. It's not something that you do just, it is something that is a habit. When you see something going wrong, immediately the mode of how can I, resolve this issue? This shouldn't be happening. You become somebody who is a natural critical thinker. You go into your thinking mode, your solution mode. And another thing is that habit of planning has to be, you just have to make it like flesh and blood, eating and drinking. Lamenting depresses you. You have not thought of the solution. The more you think of the problem, the more miserable and depressed you're going to get. So if you get into your critical thinking and problem solving mode, as soon as you have a problem, whether it's in your personal life or in this advocacy work for the public good, as soon as you see the challenge comes, go into your public problem solving critical thinking mode. This is the problem. These are the solution. This is plan A. If that doesn't work, this is plan B. This is plan C. Do I do my SWOT analysis if necessary? And come up with solutions that you can follow through, and you'll find that your brain, you are training your brain. Once you start and you are doing it regularly, your brain will get used to just popping up with the solutions. When the problem comes, it will, because you have thoughts. Your brain is, you have molded it into because it's the most important machine in your body, and it is capable of solving incredible things. So get used to training it to be problem-solving machine. It will pop up, the solutions will, you would have read something somewhere, you would have stored it in your brain, you've seen somebody doing it differently, you know, then the solutions, I can do this in this one. Okay, this is the person that I can approach to be part of solving the problem. This is something, this is where I can go and read, or this is and you are living in this golden age. Can you imagine when we didn't have Google, we didn't have we didn't have AI, we didn't have internet at all when we were growing up? So you have a problem, you have to sit down somewhere and take pen and paper and start cracking your brain. So now you have so many tools and so many ways of aggregating solutions, methodologies, contacting people, organizing, whether it's social media, various ways. So you are really poised, particularly us in the developing world, who are still we haven't really created the foundation for development. So you are all like Mongo Park. You have just come, as if you are just coming to a new world, and you are discovering and reinventing and creating what you want anew. A lot of negative things was what we were fed with in Africa. The British wanted to pass on all their own ideas. That's why I'm talking of, you must patronize made in Nigeria goods. We must build our own economy. You know, their own way of thinking. We are not individualists by nature. We are community, communal people. We like to work with people. We like to have, our, whether it's a party or a meeting, we like to do things together. We don't like being alone and just, thinking of just yourself. So as long as you are rich and you've solved the problem, you are okay. We feel somehow because you cannot be the one-eyed man, in a kingdom, that everybody is blind. You want everybody to also have sight. That's why we must build the capacity of others around us and understand that we're in a very interesting period in our history where we can own our history now. It's not what the Oyinbo brought. Whatever they are doing, we have enough brains. We have the brains. That's why when our people go abroad, they excel. They beat everybody there. We have the brains, we have the capacity, we have the creativity, we have the courage, we have the determination, we have the strength, to handle whatever issues we have. But because there's been so much damage, because of the influence of the West, or the influence of people who shouldn't, in the past, who should have done things and didn't do it, let us not allow that to depress us. We're now in a new age where we take responsibility. We make those changes. We become bold, courageous, and creative enough. All the solutions is in your brain. And the Almighty surrounds you all the time to keep nourishing you, to keep sending, whatever, sparks that will ensure that those solutions happen. And the tools you just find the tools will come. The things you need will come if you have the belief and you have the faith in yourself and who you were meant to be. Africa is the cradle of mankind. The first human beings walked the earth on on the soils of Africa, and everybody else evolved out of Africa. We built the first kingdoms. We were the first to discover many of the tools. The first mathematics was down here. The first street lights in the world were in Benin City. We're great people of great ancestry. So remove all the brainwashing, and they want us to like everything, buy everything Adidas, Nike, and be following Arsenal and Liverpool and all that. It's the time to love ourselves, create our new things, and be the new Nigeria, the new Nigerians, so that we can tell stories to our children that we built this nation, and this is how we did it. Okay? And I wish you all the very best. I believe you can do it. We believe in you. We know you can do it. God bless you all.
Thank you so much, Ma. Thank you, Ma. Mentor Albert, are you there? We close the session. We appreciate dear mommy for a wonderful, wonderful presentation, Ma. I really enjoyed this session.
I'm glad.
Thank you very much, Mentor Bolanle. And thank you very much, Auntie Yemisi. As usual, you have outdone yourself.
Thank you.
If I told I was to comment, it was that some people on this platform don't really know who you are. So maybe you take a few minutes to.
They can Google it.
Well, there you go. Participants, mentees. There's so much information about anti-MSC on all the social media platforms. So the assignment I am giving you is, who is your mentor, your tutor, your facilitator for today? Please post it in the group 6 chat. And appreciate her as you post. Thank you very much, Mentor Bolanle, for diving in as usual and supporting it. Just a quick one. Ahmed says he has done. What have you done, Ahmed? Kaide says, I know Auntie Yemisi. Okay, okay, we're getting warm now. So the last assignment I had actually posted prior to the class. So please put your responses in the class for the appreciation of your mentors and facilitators, and they will guide you accordingly in your thought process. There are 5 questions, and you should answer them in the sequence that they have been posted. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Have a good weekend. Until we meet again next week, Tuesday. Goodbye.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Mr. Albert, Bolanle, ALG, for all you do. We really, really appreciate those who step out of their own comfort zone to give light and direction and support and guidance to others. God bless you all. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, ma. Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night,
Thank you,
everyone.
ma, and good night. Thank you,
Good
ma.
night.
Good night, sir.
Bye, everybody.